I also think that having something that is not technology based, it's almost like a
Mhm.
foreverness of that the contact sheet, the Excel sheet. It's not dependent on if you're using a company CRM, if
Mhm.
you're no longer affiliated with the company, or if a program changes or crashes or anything like that. You have control of that spreadsheet where technology don't necessarily have full control
Mhm.
over that. On this episode, we're going to be going over a resource that we use in our business every day. It's been a game changer. Best part about that, though, it's not adding to any monthly bills that you're paying, not part of your budget because it's free.
Yes. If you head over to realestateable.com/spreadsheet right now, we have a template for you to download that is an exact replica of what we use in our daily business. It keeps us organized, it keeps us on track, and it makes sure that no past clients are forgotten.
Yeah, and the best part, besides it being free, is that anyone can use it. It's super easy to use this spreadsheet that we're using every day. Not a complicated program for you to learn, not anything that's adding more time to your day.
Yes. If I can use it, someone who hates Excel and doesn't understand it, anyone can use it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's customizable too.
Mhm.
So you're able to kind of take what we have as a platform. Each of us have kind of continued to progress through our businesses to figure
Mhm.
out how this can be most valuable for you. You're not set to a structure like a lot of the programs that we sign up for.
Yes. So listen to this episode to maximize the use of this spreadsheet.
Welcome back to episode 3 for Real Estateable. It's Ashley and Tiffany, and we're here today to talk about all you need to know to organize your contacts. This is one tool that every realtor should be using that is actually free.
Yes. So whether you're using a CRM or you can use a spreadsheet, at some point in your career, you need to organize your leads,
Yeah.
all
Yep.
your
Yep.
contacts. So we found that using a spreadsheet is super helpful.
Literally a spreadsheet. Like we're talking an Excel spreadsheet on
Mhm.
your computer, no cost, no monthly cost, anything like that. So
Okay, so for the new agents, what would you say a CRM is? Because I'm sure every agent has heard of it. If you haven't, you're about to hear about it.
mhm.
What is a CRM?
So a CRM, it's actually means a contact resource manager. It's a program, usually something you buy monthly subscriptions for.
Mhm.
I know Ashley says a lot of times it's a modern version of a Rolodex, which it really is, technology version of that. But I think that when we're looking across the board, years of us researching, years of us trying different tools, really the best CRM is the one that you're actually going to use. You
Mhm.
hear that across our industry too. And I think that you don't have to limit yourself to an actual program. I think that today we want to dive into something a little bit deeper than that, which is weird to say. Deeper would be getting back to the basics.
Yes, I think that 2023 is going to be all about getting back to the basics, just in
For sure,
general.
for sure.
Um, you don't need a fancy program, and that's kind of what we're talking about. If you're just starting out, or if you've been in the business for years, this spreadsheet will be helpful for you.
So
So,
we just came back from convention with our international company,
mhm.
and I was with another team leader. She had several of her agents there, and she had been in business for 25 years. Had no way of organizing her circle of her sphere of influence. Like no
Same.
past clients, no friends and family, nothing. And I'm just sitting there trying not to die in my soul for her at that moment. But you know what? That was me year 10 in the business. And I've spoke about that and spoke about that before. But this is a really, really great way to just get back to the nitty gritty and start to organize yourself before you get into the complexity of a program, too. So,
Yes. So at the convention, there was a stat put out by the National Association of
mhm,
Realtors that 90% of homeowners are never contacted again.
by their agent after closing.
Literally 90%.
90% of those listening today are absolutely insane.
Yes. So if you can just be the 10%, part of the 10% that does contact your past clients and follow up with them,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to change your business just right there.
Yeah, just this one simple thing. That's why we're starting off on this so soon, because we were talking about we're kind of in growth mode right now, conversations around growth mode,
Mhm.
and it's funny because we'll be like all these great things, all these great plans, but back to the business, our clients, which is
Mhm.
really our spreadsheet, and we do use CRMs. We do have different ways that we're communicating with our client and our SOI, but everything honestly grounds back to the spreadsheet, which is an Excel sheet. So want to spend a little bit of time marinating in that today.
All right. So talking about the spreadsheet, um, I know that we all have kind of evolved. You started with a notebook.
Mm-hmm.
I started with a notebook as well, and then also like random sticky notes. So having, and I am not an Excel person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I fight
Yeah.
Excel. I do not like Excel, but I find that this spreadsheet is pretty easy to use. It's color coded, it's got categories, and it was a template set up for me where I could just plug and play the information.
Yeah.
So coming from someone who hates Excel and hates spreadsheets, you can do it too. Like if I can do it, you can do it. So, what are some of the main categories that you have on your spreadsheet?
Okay. So, and I was the same way. I had a template that was provided to me, and I'm like, okay, just gonna. And over the years, it's evolved
Hmm.
too. So, basics. Okay, basics of what you're going to have on there: first and last name, their phone number, their mailing address, emails, basic ways that you're going to contact them.
Hmm.
I know that some of our agents have like social media columns, like that if they're on
Mm.
Instagram or Facebook. But I think the basic ways that you're going to be able to contact them, that's what you're going to want to start with. Just baseline on that. What other things do you have besides that, like
So,
information wise?
so aside from contact information,
Mm-hmm.
I like to have, if I can get it, their birthdays.
Yep.
So, their birthdays, their wedding anniversaries, and like anything that I can, anything that of importance. So like if they have a dog named Scruffy, I'm gonna put that
Mm,
their dog's
didn't think
name,
about that.
yeah, because some like, I mean, I know your dog is for sure a child versus a dog. So if
Some say
it's,
my favorite child, and I will
yeah,
not argue that point.
yeah, we're not confirming or denying. But knowing what's important, and that's what's going to help you take your relationship with your
Yeah.
client to the next level, because they're going to say, oh man, they remembered Scruffy. Like we have Scruffy. If you write a handwritten card and say, hey, hope you and the kids and Scruffy is doing great, like they're going to be like, oh my gosh, how
Yeah.
did she remember my
And
dog?
I also think that like there's very many ways for you to organize this, but this is kind of like the grounding factor. So like
Hmm.
I know that my clients have this, that, and the other thing. Another thing I do on there is I'll put the number of kids and the name of the kids, because we do a couple different events through the year where we're just inviting the kids to it. So I need a place like that's not really something easily accessible anywhere else.
Hmm.
And so I'll call them for a number of kids. That's a quick look for me to be able to go, okay, let me filter out just the kids. If they have kids, it's in there.
Hmm.
And so that's a really good grounding factor where you're like, well, man, I don't need to know Scruffy on a spread, but grounding, yes. Back to the basics, yes, you should have that on there. Another thing that I do, and this is whether or not I have actually closed with them, because some of our SOI is going to be people that bought 20 years ago, but
Hmm.
they have a home anniversary, they have a closing date. For us here in our market, we have accessibility to that electronically to look through public records.
Hmm.
To see when their anniversary is. We do a lot of different things with that we'll talk about in the future, but their closing date, whether or not you've closed with them, that's another really, really solid column that would be landing on that spreadsheet as well.
Okay, so for your spreadsheet, do you use that for anything else? Like, are you putting when you talked to them last,
Mm-hmm,
how
mm-hmm,
you talked to them?
definitely.
You're tracking on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, so for me, and you're gonna see as you're getting to learn, Ashley and I am definitely an old school, old dog kind of thing. So being in the business, and not having a foundation of training, as I was growing up in the business, I don't like programs. I don't like technology. I don't like and I'm always on the go. And so like for me, I'm like if I have to log into something, if I have to do any extra steps, I'm just not going to do it. And
Hmm.
the other part is that I want to be able to see my whole game plan right in front of me. And with a spreadsheet, a couple of scrolls, I can see hundreds of people versus going into different tabs on the CRMs that we're currently using. And so for that, I use my spreadsheet and have used it and probably will continue to use it as a source of a CRM for contact. So I have a column for the date of contact, the date of last contact that I had with my clients. I also put like how I talked to them. So I don't want it to be like if three weeks ago I sent an email, my next contact should not be another email. Or if it is, I don't want it to be 17 emails that have gone past without a text or a phone call or an invitation for a coffee date or, client appreciation. So that's a quick way that I do that. I definitely think there's probably better ways to do that, ways to systemize source of contacts and how to automate that. But for me personally, just being honest here today, that is something that I use that for too, and I'm effective in it. That's something that I'd actually use. So
Okay, so everyone, we have already said this. A CRM is the best CRM is one you're going to use. So
yep.
would you say you're looking at your spreadsheet daily, weekly, every few days, every other week?
At least every week. So a lot of planning happens for me for Sundays, Sunday evening, afternoon, planning for a week of success. So I feel like that's a whole episode in itself. So at least weekly. And then from there, it depends on how effectively I'm time blocking. If I'm being super honest on that, this is a lot of the part of time blocking, my follow up. But at least every week looking at birthdays, anniversaries, at least every month looking at the home anniversaries, because I do something on the anniversary month for them. But how often do you think you look at yours? How often are you, because you're more new dog, new tricks, technology for sure.
So I'm definitely checking my CRM daily.
Yeah.
I would say my spreadsheet I look at weekly because I do add people to my CRM. So I want to make sure that I've added them to the CRM and the spreadsheet.
Do you feel like, and I like just listening to this too, Ashlee, do you feel like you are doubling up work by doing this? Do you feel like this is kind of a double
Sometimes,
task?
but I feel like for what I use the spreadsheet for, I have to have the spreadsheet because what you were saying, like the quick scroll, and we'll talk a little bit too about like the color coding that we use, but I use that for like a quick reference on whatever I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to send out invites or anniversaries, I don't want to have to scrub through my CRM to find that information. I like to have one spot where I can easily look, color code, boom, it's their anniversary.
I also think that having something that is not technology based, it's almost like a foreverness of that, the contact sheet, the Excel sheet. It's not dependent on if you're using a company CRM, if you're no longer affiliated with the company, or if a program changes or crashes or anything like that. You have control of that spreadsheet, where technology, you don't necessarily have full control over that. So that's another reason, again, old dog kind of motivation for me with the spreadsheet was like, okay, I can control this. Like no one's going to take this Excel sheet that is, saved to many places, take that away from me either. I do feel like, I don't want to say that there's doubling up on the work, but I feel like it's just a one more step for sure. So when you're thinking about, is this going to be something that I'm actually going to adapt to? Is it effective? Is it something I'm actually going to implement? Yes, it is one more step. I don't think it's necessarily doubling up because it has multi-purposes on that for sure.
Well, you have to think too, if you're just starting out or if you're a notebook user, it's really not doubling up because you're only going to be putting it into one spot. It is doubling up for me just because I do use a CRM and I use a spreadsheet. So technically, yes, it's doubling.
If you're using a CRM, then it would be doubling up.
But if you're not using anything, I mean, it's too easy to enter it in. You could even write it in your notebook and put it in your spreadsheet and it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, for sure. I also think it's eye-opening too. Like even if you've not had very many closings, to have a place that you're almost like you're trying to grow your SOI. Like that's going to be, growth is going to be happening with contacts, which are leads. And when you have a grounding place to be putting those, I am finding that I'm like, oh, wait, this random person that normally would go to the wayside, they need to go to my spreadsheet. Oh, this one person. So I'm constantly thinking, growing my contact list, which is in my spreadsheet. And I'm pushing people to that more often than if I didn't have a landing zone for them.
Yeah.
So I think it's almost like a natural tool for growth.
Okay. So for people who are just starting out, Who are you adding to your spreadsheet? We kind of like skipped
Mhm.
over what we're adding, but let's talk about who we're adding.
Yeah. So the last episode, if you didn't listen to last episode talking about people,
Mhm.
you need to jump back to that, listen to really who makes up our circle. Like I call it like your real estate family. So with that, anybody, everybody, if they're breathing, they're on the spreadsheet. If I have contact information for them, honestly, that's everybody, and it's everyone around the country. We're military, so really around the world. I just had somebody that I closed I bought and sold with them years ago. And I have followed them military wise around the country. They just moved to Texas. And, I'm about to send them a housewarming gift for their Texas move. They've sent me
Mhm.
tons of referral business over the years, but I'm watching them on social media, but really tracking through follow up and conversations. They're moving on my spreadsheet through the whole entire thing because I'm still marketing to them, even if they're not in my local area. But I think you have to become conscious of that.
Mhm.
It's through conversations, it's through connections from social media. It's really just being mindful that you need to be growing your database. And anybody, if I have contact information,
Yeah.
you're gonna love me. Trust me.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about like the customization
Hmm.
of the spreadsheet. So I
Okay.
know I have colors. Mine is color coded, so I know who's in town, who's out of town, who's bought with me or sold with me, and
Hmm.
who's bought like the listings of who are the buyers of my listings
Yeah.
even.
So how many colors do you have on your spreadsheet?
I have like a pink, a aqua, and yellow.
Okay, so three
I
colors.
think I have 3 colors.
Okay. And based off of the colors, you're gonna do different things. Like it would be like
Mhm.
it's a quick glance to be able to say that and everybody is a color. So
Everybody's color.
yep,
Yeah.
everyone's a color. And so so with your pink people, who are your pink people? Like if you're looking at that quick glance, who are your pink people?
Those are my people who are like my sphere of influence, um, past buyers and sellers
Mm-hmm.
in that are still local. So
Yeah.
I can go up to their door and do a pop by, or I can
Mm,
do a drop off, and I know that they are still in town and accessible to meet in person.
yeah. And I have similar to that. It's like if I can invite them for a coffee date or
Mhm.
like one of our MVP or VIP events that we have, if there's someone that can break bread with me, that is a specific color, which it is um that high level of connection. So yeah, and I think mine's similar, like red, pink, like a bright eye-catching color for
Mhm.
that too. So for your people, you just said something really great, and I think we'll expand on this. The people that buy your listings, those
Mhm.
are now your in your sphere too.
Yeah.
So those people obviously are local because your listings are local. So you don't make those the high alert. What
Mhm.
do those look like? Who are those people?
So they are like an aqua color. So
Okay.
they're still a bright color. Actually, it's funny. I showed Mark my spreadsheet the other day, and he
Hmm.
was like, "Whoa!" Like for the colors, like he was like, "Why is it
But you
like
can
this?"
filter from colors. Like
Mhm.
you're gonna learn, Excel's gonna change your life. It's not just like a spreadsheet. They're
Yeah.
like you can filter and like you can be focused where it's like, okay, I need to get in front of people for lunch. Let me just look at all my pink, red, bright color ones.
Yeah.
Who are the people that actually can get in front of me? Filter it out. And I'm sure you can do that with a CRM. Today spreadsheet conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so Aqua is the buyers of my listings.
Hmm.
So I don't necessarily have all of their information. Like I'm not able to follow up with them email wise and
Yep, true.
things like that. So I have pretty basic information. I have their names, their address. That's pretty much it.
Pretty much it.
Sometimes I'll go on social media and see if I can find them, but they're not somebody I'm following up with right away because
Yeah.
they're probably still a little attached to their agent, depending on
Haven't realized that they're the 90% that they'll never hear from again.
exactly. So I'm trying to make that 10% connection with them eventually. So
Hmm.
I kind of track their closing date and say, okay, it's been 6 months since they've closed. Maybe they forgot their agent.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get
Maybe
to
they're
know me.
maybe they're gonna love me more.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
will.
So
They will.
so then they'll be added, to my pop by list and stuff, but they're going to be that aqua color until I list their house.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
or at least make the connection through
mhm.
something to okay. And who else would be aqua for you? Anyone else that would be aqua in that?
No, it's mostly just the buyers of my listings.
Okay. So if you had somebody that you were like arm's length, or like it's like, oh, I know like Pam Smith, and you're able
Mhm.
to find her, like we're kind of getting into the stalker part of real estate right now. So hang with me. So you know Pam Smith because her son plays on the ball team with her, with your kids. But you might not have extra contact information, etc. But you know, okay, she's a homeowner. I can stalk that on tax records. Um, would you add someone like that into your spreadsheet? And would you add them as blue? I might be calling myself out. Yes, you would. Tiffany would absolutely.
Tiffany would, but I would add that person to my CRM.
Okay. Okay.
So my spreadsheet is more so of people that I have closed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that way I can see, like at a glance of my, I guess those would be like my priority people, and my
Gotcha.
CRM can hold on my warm people.
Got it. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, totally different. We're learning something about each other
Yeah.
on that. This is everybody. If you're breathing and you have
Yeah.
a possibility of ever owning a home, which is every person in America, they're
Hmm.
on my spreadsheet from there. And I'm kind of the opposite. Not more my hot people are in my CRM because of the way that I communicate in there. So
Mm.
very good. Okay. What are some things that you don't have on your spreadsheet that could be, well, we just called out on that. Like people are not on your
Yeah.
spreadsheet, but like columns. What other columns are we not thinking about, or what columns have you used before and have deleted? What else could we be adding to the mix of this that, might be beneficial for other people?
Man, I don't even know. I think, because mine has everything I feel like I need to track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. I think that I over the years I've done like the kids have been added to it, and I'm like, oh, I added the kids for one kid invite that we did,
Hmm.
and then deleted that because I'm clean and clear. And then we had another kids event, and I was like, okay, let's get that back on there. Let me redo that work as well. Kids would be a thing. I know at one point I was not tracking closing dates on the spreadsheet because they were in a CRM. The anniversary of that was in a CRM as well. So
Hmm.
just I think that anything that would be beneficial for a quick glance on that, you guys might have something specific to your area that you're serving, but anything that could be quick glance or categorized or filtered out, etc.
Yeah,
on
if
that
you,
too.
I mean, you could even put like, if one of your goals this year is to take out two clients a week for
Mm,
coffee date, you can put that coffee date, you know, January 1st. So you're
yeah.
tracking who's been out to coffee with you. I think it's whatever is important to you to grow your business. So if even if it's not a closing or a birthday, it's when did you call them? When did you take them out? And just having it systemized for you versus I'll just try
Well, and I
this
think
person
too, if
again.
you're like, I know everyone is kind of more business focused and operations focused in 2023. That's just the conversation across our industry. And so lots of wigs are happening,
Hmm.
wildly important goals are
Hmm.
happening. And that's a really great way to be tracking them. If you're like, okay, I need to have two lunch dates a week or two coffee dates, or I need to speak to 10 people, that would be a really good way to just all in one place be able to see that too.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on writing um 9 handwritten cards a week.
Mm-hmm.
So tracking that in my spreadsheet of where I left off
Yep.
is important too. I think just really just anything you're wanting to track. I
Yeah.
mean, it's customizable. So
Yeah.
it can be anything you want. You can put on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that kind of wraps up the conversation with this. I think we could dissect it pretty well,
Mhm.
but we got something for you guys. You want to talk about
Yes.
what we're going to do for everyone listening?
Yes. So if you are not someone who likes Excel or can create your own spreadsheet,
Yeah.
we have a free download for you guys over at our website. That will be linked in the show notes so that you can go to the website, get your free download, start putting your leads into the spreadsheet, and hopefully it'll help you as much as it has helped us.
Yeah, I think that definitely really the basics. We're going to pound into that,
Hmm.
episode after episode, but we'd love to hear from you guys too. If there's something that is being super effective for you as you're diving into the spreadsheet, let us know too. We'd love to hear, we'd love to grow together really from the different
Yeah.
ways that this is being effective for everyone across the board.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, go ahead and give us 5 stars, write a review, share this with someone who might find it helpful. And we will see you next time on Real Estateable.
See you guys next time. What a great episode all about our spreadsheet, our free spreadsheet that we use in our business every day. It was great to bring it back to the basics.
Yeah, I think a big takeaway for me was just trying to make sure that I'm adding everybody that I come in contact with into my spreadsheet, and then also keeping them updated. So when they move, I might need to change their color or their address, and just following through with the spreadsheet and just making those changes as needed.
Yeah, kind of like the housekeeping of all of that too. And I love that the spreadsheet is something that we can use in our business year after year as technology changes, as maybe your needs for a CRM or follow-up change, that this spreadsheet can be something that's timeless from start to finish in any age in this business as well.
Yeah, and the other thing too is if you're a paper person and you're just like really clinging to that notebook that you've had forever, you can put everything in the spreadsheet and then print it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you could just print it if you're a paper person and go through that way. But the best part about this is the spreadsheet is free. It's on our website at realestateable.com/spreadsheet. So you can download your copy. We want to thank you for listening to this episode. If it was helpful for you, make sure you download it, follow it, give us a 5-star review, and share it with someone you know.
See you guys next time.